afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to Season 4 of Extra Innings. And there is no better way to start the season than with our first ever guest, Ronnie Dawson. Ronnie Dawson currently plays for the Kiwoom Heroes of South Korea. And the last time we spoke with him, he was with the Cincinnati Reds, mostly with the Louisville Bats, and then he also spent some time with the Lexington Counterclocks of the Atlantic League. How you doing today, Ronnie?
Good, man. How are you? How you been?
Doing good. College graduate. Here you're still back in school,
yes,
so you know
get your school. College is important.
The grind never stops. Even though you play sports, the education is very important.
Education is very important. Most important.
Yep. So really big news for you. You were able to play in another MLB game since the last time we spoke. You know, you get called up to Milwaukee. You know, how was the whole experience playing with the Reds? It was only for one day, but you know, still some good memories.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. Again, a little bitter taste because you know you want to be up there longer. But at the same time, man, this as a kid being from Ohio, watching Ken Griffey Jr., you know, loving when I started falling in love with the game, like really falling in love with the game. Watching Brandon Phillips and how he went about the game, how he interacted. That's kind of how I model my game and want to just with the fans, like on the field stuff is, you know, that's your ability, but like off the field stuff, how you interact, how you can make someone's day, how you can change. I mean, I still get stuff from when I was in Louisville 2 years ago, or if I was, you know, still like in Lowe, of people that said, you know, I did something, I gave their son a bat, or you know, gave them an autograph, or said something to them, and they still appreciate it. And stuff like that is where now for me having a son, I'm like starting to see, okay, that's special. Like, and that's what like my game, like that's what's special about my game. You know, I can hit, I can field, but what's special about my game is what I do off the field. And it's just, you know, it's amazing. You know, it just comes naturally to me. You know, some people, it could be forced or, you know, you gotta do it. For me, it's just like, I want to do it. Like, I just like,
you got the right attitude for it.
Yeah, like I look forward, like, okay, well, I got these gloves, they ripped. All right, I can give them to a kid the next day. Like that's how I think. Like when stuff happens, or a broken bat. I'm like, all right, I remember I see that fan all the time. Let me go get that fan the bat. Yeah. Just to support, just stuff like that. Like I just know. I mean, you know, my time playing baseball is limited, but the impact that I can have on someone that can last a lifetime. So that's what I really want to. You know, I've been doing, and you know, I think it's just seeing the repercussions years later of stuff has been pretty awesome.
And I think too, you know, it speaks to that. I remember when the Reds posted that you got called up. I mean, you had the biggest smile on the post that they had on their social media page. And I remember watching Reds live before the game. And I mean, they just couldn't get enough of your excitement and throw for the game. And, you know, it really does show it's, you know, you're still a kid at heart. Yeah. And you gave it your all that day. And it was just so nice to see, you know, you up there and you represented the Reds very well that day. Yeah. And, you know, Licking Heights and Ohio State, you just did such a great job. And, you know, there's probably many people who have seen you play at many levels that can think back to a time where, you know, you made the game special for them. And that's huge. And, you know, in Louisville, you know, you had some really big plays. You had a really good year with them. And, you know, did you enjoy your time in Louisville? And can you look back on some of those and be like, wow, like I really was able to make a big impact?
Yeah, man. I enjoyed my time in Louisville, especially with the Reds. I was close to home finally. You know, playing with the Astros. I was in Texas. I was never coming home. But when I was in Louisville, I got a chance to drive home. My wife was pregnant at the time, so it was nice because she could stay home and, you know, have help with her parents and my parents. But the biggest thing, I could drive home, and it was nice, like just see my dog. I could see my dog during the season, so just little stuff like that was nice.
And in that league, you had Indy, Columbus, and Toledo.
Yeah, so
like
you
were always
I was always home. Like even on the Toledo, I was always stay home that day before we go, or Indianapolis, I'll go home. Columbus got to stay home for a whole week. So, I mean, it was amazing just being on this side of the country for baseball. Got so many more people to come see me, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, the organization was pretty cool. Just to see a different experience. Like I was with the Astros, they're very analytical, and then be with the Reds to see those young guys like that's they got now, like Ellie, McClain. All those guys were like kind of like AA, high A when I was there, and I was like, oh, these guys are like legit. Like
they're not.
And now you see them like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like Ellie De La Cruz is probably one of my favorite. Like you know, it's probably like Jordan Alvarez, Ellie De La Cruz, Kyle Lewis. It's a couple guys I'm like, oh, y'all they're different when they do stuff. Like you know,
It's a different breed.
just a different breed. Like you, just a freak athlete, you know, and you really good at baseball. Like freak athlete, not just
some
good at
people are
baseball.
just gifted like
Yeah,
that.
some people are just good at baseball, but now they're like, oh, you can go dunk, do all this stuff, and still hit a baseball. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah,
So,
the guys who can do the multiple sports and excel at both of them is just mind blowing.
oh yeah, it's amazing to see that stuff.
And even in 2022, you started the season with TJ Friedel and Graham
Yeah.
Ashcraft. So
Yeah.
like even two guys that you were teammates of yours,
Yeah.
you were a
Yeah.
part of that new wave for the Reds. And so you finished the year, you elect free agency, and you signed with the Lexington Counterclocks of the Atlantic Coast League. So what was that experience like going to a league like that? You know, what was Lexington like? The fans, the team,
Yeah.
the league, like
Scary at first, man, because you know you go to, just to be honest, thought I was done. Like I didn't know I wasn't hearing anything. Cause I had a pretty good year, I thought, for I debut. I got to go back up with the Reds 2 years in a row. So I'm like, okay, didn't get to have that much time, but I'm like, you know, just opportunities with what was opportunity at the time. So the next year, I'm hoping to hear something from either the Reds or another affiliate team. And I hear nothing. I'm like, oh, you know, whatever. You know, I hear something about spring training, and I'm still not. I'm like, oh, am I done? You know, like I'm like scared, and I'm seeing all these guys. I'm like looking, and I'm like, man, this okay. Not really guys getting picked up, but then I'm starting to see a lot of older guys get picked up. I'm like, man, what's going on? And just the way like AAA and minor league system is a little different. So I'm like, well, I think I'm going independent ball, and that was scary because like you hear independent ball, the affiliate when you get drafted, you're like, oh no, I want to go there. Like,
yeah.
But then I get there and I'm like, oh, this is good baseball. Like you just don't got the affiliate money to like back you up, but you still got good players. You know, you got some young guys that come, but then there was a lot of guys like my situation. You know, I'm playing against like Starlin Castro, Jose Marmoleos. It's just a lot of guys that are like big league guys, AAA, that just didn't get a call, or you know, because of the COVID stuff, the teams getting canceled, numbers just, you know,
Yeah, they go down heavily.
They go down heavily, so it's a trickle effect. So you kind of get the guys that are affected by that, and
So they're still being competitive
So
because they're in the same boat as you. They want to get back to where
They
they
wanna
were.
get
So
back.
it's not like you're playing against a bunch of guys who are washed up and they're like,
all
all right, here we go again.
Yeah,
Let's just get this
that's
over
what you
with.
think, and that's what you think when you're going into it. But you get there, you're like, no, everybody they want to get out of there, or they want something to prove, and they're good baseball players. I was like, man, this is not a cakewalk. So it was pretty cool to see that. Like, it's not just good baseball being played in affiliate ball. It's like there's guys everywhere. And
Yeah.
go to Korea, it's like you see a whole different thing. Like, man, this baseball being played all around the world at this time. Like, you just think about yourself. You think how small like your game is. It's like, man, or you struck out, had 4 games. There's millions of games going around the world. There's probably other guys that struck out. There's probably other guys that have better games. You know, so it's for me, it's like kind of like this mind blowing to see how much, you know, how big the world is and how little you kind of, you know, these little things like you are in that aspect. So it's like just amazing. I had an amazing journey this year. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you were able to take it that way, because I guarantee there's many players who would probably go into a shell. They wouldn't accept the fate that they had, and you took it and you ran with it. And hey, come to find out, as I mentioned when we first sat down, you are now playing in Korea. Your contract got purchased by the Heroes, and now you go into that aspect of, you know, you've been playing your whole life in the United States of America.
Right.
And now you're going all the way over to South Korea. Like, that must have been mind blowing to say, I'm going where? I'm playing where again? Say it one more time.
Yeah, no, that was nuts. And it happened fast. Like, I remember kind of, so I was playing against a guy that they signed probably like a month before we got hit a home run off of him. But he got, I'll say, Ian McKinney, if he ever watches this, got very lucky because he was nasty. Like, and he just left the changeup up, lefty, and I got it. And so whatever, so they were watching him pitch, and he threw a nasty game, threw probably like 8 innings, gave up that home run, and so they're there to watch him, and they saw me, and they talked to me a little bit. They're like, hey, we got a guy coming next year. Prior to America, he's an outfielder, been the best player, Jung-Hoo Lee, shout out. You know, he's a great man. Only played 1 game with him, but you just
He's special.
This special, like 1 game, I'm like, dang. Like,
That's all I needed.
It's all I needed to see. So, you know, we were interested in the guy, outfielder, yeah. So then 2 weeks go by. They're like, hey, we actually need a guy this year. Would you be interested in coming? Yep. Then it was like, I had to make a decision basically like 4 hours. Like, hey.
Life altering decision.
Yeah,
you got 4 hours.
You got
Don't
4
worry
hours
about it.
to make this decision. And it's like late. It's like 12 o'clock. I'm calling my wife, like, hey, we just had a kid. Like, I'm like, I gotta go across the country. Like, how long it's gonna be? I'm like, it's not gonna be 2 months. Ended up being like 3.5 months just because of the way they do the season. I had no clue. I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be 2 months. And she's like, I think it's gonna be longer. I'm like, no, like it's not gonna be bad. She's like, it's a good decision. I think you should do it. I'm like, all right. I was like, we're gonna do it, but like just having her support just helps. And so I just went out there and it was just like, man, 13-hour flight or 15-hour flight, and
that's tough.
man, it was nuts. It was just flying. It was amazing. Like right when I get there, we got to do some travel. I got to go get a visa. I had to go to Japan for a little bit, so I had to do all this travel. But then first game, amazing, man. Like what you
out of this world.
Yeah, like what you dream of as a kid. Like you get there. I walk out, and it's like all these people waiting for you out when you get off the bus. And I'm like, like a basketball game, like you see people like LeBron walking in. That's how I felt. I felt like LeBron.
Wow.
Like, I'm like, man, all these people like for us. So whatever. We go. All these people watching us take BP. We're away, and so people can come to the game. So I'm like, man, it's nuts here. It's like, sorry, Atlantic League with the conference, you might get like 200 people, maybe. That's a good night. There's like 8,000, 10,000 people for BP for back practice. So this is nuts. So then.
So with them, is that in South Korea? Is that the sport that they gravitate to?
So,
okay.
That's like that's their football.
Yeah.
That's their soccer. That's their biggest sport. So everybody.
At least you picked the right one, right?
Yeah.
You're in the right one.
So I go out there and the first game I'm playing against Busan. I think that's like one of the biggest teams, like a lot of history. And they're having a water festival. It's midsummer, so it's like water festival. So, we hit first. I got our bell hit, so our fans are going nuts. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, whatever. We go on defense. They get a little base hit. Just a single, single. They have these big four water cannons, and they shoot them in the air, and everyone's going nuts. And out there, everyone gets a fight song. So they're singing the fight song, every hitter's fight song. They're singing the side's fight song, and they're just going nuts. They're just shooting water in the air, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? I'm just in the outfield like, what? And that's just first hit, just a base hit in the game.
Wow.
And they did that from the first to the ninth inning. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, there's no stop. So I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
I couldn't imagine.
The game is just an event. Like, they're like probably like 4.5 hours, I feel like, and it's just nuts. But it's just they're so into the game, the fans, like it just makes you want to play. It makes you want to play. It's so nice. It's just amazing.
So I'm not sure how this works, but were you able to see people wearing your jersey?
So no one had my jersey. I think it's just because I was there halfway through the year. They didn't know if I was coming back next year, so no one. I don't think they had my jersey out. Some people kind of they will make a fake Dawson jersey, but I don't think they were like selling my jersey. But I saw people like making them, and it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty. The love I got out there was amazing to see.
So outside of taking baseball as like the number one thing ever to touch South Korea, what was another cultural shock for you that you were like, whoa, I'm definitely not in the United States of America anymore?
Oh man, I'll say just how safe it was out there in a big city. You'll see like young girls, like teenage girls. It'll be late after a game, like 12 o'clock. They're just walking, talking, and I'm just like, in America, you can't walk out like late at night like that, especially in a big city. So it's just amazing to see how safe it is. I'll see little kids like ordering a taxi or like just ordering food by themselves, like 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids. I'm like, man, I can't even do it. Order a taxi. Like, how do you do it? Just call Uber, So it's just amazing to see stuff like that. Culture, just the way they do food. Like even the trash can systems. Like they got recycle food. Then it's like deep compost. And so it's just like little stuff like that. They're very particular about certain things. I'm like, all right,
it's very different.
Very different, but like I feel like it works. Everything was efficient out there. Like everything
Yeah.
we did, even the toilets. They got the bidets, and I'm like, I'm a bidet guy. I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Wow.
Of the bidets. So
Man, South Korea really changed you.
yeah, it changed me. Man. It changed me. But it was amazing from the get go. Like I would never, like I would, if I could, my wife wanted to, I would raise a family out there. Like I would stay out there.
Wow.
Just everyone was nice. No one, even I'm a foreigner. I'm not like no one, not that many black guys, big black guys out there. And it's not like I got like even here in America. Like I go somewhere and people like, do I know you? Do I recognize you?
Yeah.
There it was just kind of like everybody kind of went about your business. Unless I was with like
One of the players.
player like baseball. They didn't really know me. It might change next year because I played out there, but like everyone just kind of kept to their business. Like I'll go places, go eat. Again, I'm in a big city, so.
And you don't have to worry about, because that's always nice, and I feel like that's something athletes really don't like talking about as they do like the privacy going out in public. They would enjoy not to be recognized.
Right.
So I can understand from your point of view, like it's nice to go to the grocery store, go to dinner, go for a walk, and you realize like there's just some random person walking by you and they don't know you and you don't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
like,
nice.
It's not like, oh, I gotta like sign something for you. Or,
Yeah,
like,
try to say hi.
act weird, like, it's just like, oh, I can just walk past. So
Yeah.
it was pretty nice to be able to do that. Hopefully, Tanner, you interviewed Tanner. Tanner couldn't do that. He was in a smaller city. So Tanner said he would go out and he would be like, people would recognize him and want to like, oh, Tanner, like, somebody take a picture. He's with his family, and it's like, and I heard stories like that a bunch of times. And I can see it because they're nuts. They're like, they love
baseball.
They love baseball. They love you, like, so. And it's funny, my translator all the time, like, hey, you're like famous, and like, Bob. I'm like, who? We're like, who? Me? And like, there's a lot of news out there in Korean that I don't see. So like, just the way I play, like how I interact with people, they like really enjoy it. So like, there's people posting me and stuff like that, or like news of stuff, and I have no clue about them, and I'm like getting them like 2 weeks later, like, oh, you did this, and they love you, blah blah blah. I'm like, who loves me? Like, who are you talking about?
I mean, I'm the new guy.
Yeah, I'm just walking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see any of this, or like, I guess feel like I'm a superstar here. And he's like, no, you're like blah blah blah. I'm just like,
But see, I think that fits the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
And the way you acted when you were in America. I mean, you were always outgoing. I mean, you mentioned, giving the bat or the glove to a kid. I mean, when you interact with fans, I mean, there's many players on one hand that I can think of right now in the MLB that are class acts that'll do stuff with fans, and I know players that are just like, I'm here to play baseball, which is fine.
Right.
They're strictly business,
Exactly.
but you do have the players who are all about the fans and do everything. So I guess when you go to a country that all they care about is baseball, and they're so into it with water canyons, which we'll have to look that up later. So I think they just gravitate towards somebody who would do that.
Care, and like hearing that perspective, I don't see that. It's just I'm just being myself or being. So I'm like, really, why? Like this is normal to me, and it's, like you said, like that's not the case for everyone. So like I can definitely see why they appreciate that. So
just going out of your way, doing the little things, and mentioning Tanner. How did it feel knowing that not only did you have somebody who spoke your language, but also a teammate of yours also ended up in Korea?
No, that was awesome, man. Just to face him. I faced Tanner everywhere. So to face him, I faced him in college, faced him in pro ball, faced him in a different country. So it's pretty cool. He got me out there. I got him here. Never got a home run or anything. Got a double or something, but yeah, I think I got one hit out there off of him, but he got my number out there. It's like I'm like
finally we can get you two on the same team. Eventually, maybe one day we can get you on the same one.
It was almost about to happen this year. He about to go out there and be on the team, spoiler, but it didn't end up working out. But I wish that would have been nice to see, have him out there, and he has a son too, so like kind of have our boys grow up together.
Yeah.
And
it helps the transition, helps the process. You're not alone in the whole thing.
Exactly,
so.
that's the thing. Like not being alone out there. Don't got it's not that many. By yourself. Like I was by myself. My wife and son didn't come out. So just having a community, having people to talk to. I remember one of my grandmas. She has someone that she worked with that was from South Korea, and younger guy. She works in the college, and so he was like, oh, I'll take your grandson out, and he took me out to dinner. It was just nice to be able to speak English to someone, and kind of see the city like where I didn't I would just go and just walk around, and I was trying to be very touristy, like see stuff, but like it's hard doing it by yourself, you don't, I'll go here, but I don't want to. It's kind of weird. I don't being a loner, but then just to have someone show you stuff, show you around, and that's why I hope this year I want to be able to see more stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who translator, find someone, a friend out there or something, but just find someone to show me like more of the culture, like from a like.
Somebody who lives there.
Yeah, someone who lives there. Like
you want their perspective. You don't want like a TripAdvisor be like top things to do in South Korea. You
Right.
want to know from a local, like,
Exactly.
yes, this restaurant's really top 5 star, but if you go to this hole in the wall, you're gonna get the best food.
And that's what I had, like my translator and this a lot of the teammates, they treated me so well. That's what, another reason why I did so well out there. Just the team and the people around me, that my support system, just supported me so well.
Mm-hmm.
And made me, I wanted to embrace the culture, and they would go out to eat almost probably like once a week, just trying different places. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to I love the food out there.
Yeah.
I was here and like finding like, oh, it's Korean places here. It's or in Columbus over on Bethel. I had no clue. Shout out Minga, I think the place is. But yeah, I had no clue. Then I come here, I'm giving a lesson. I'm like, oh, Korea, oh, Korean food, oh. So I'm trying all these Korean food when I get back here. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good Korean. So it's like funny, like for me, like to see the awareness now I have with Korean food and what it is, and just the appreciation of it, just the culture in general. So I was just amazing, honestly, everything out there just amazing, and it opened me up to like wanting to travel more. Like it's you go to Italy or you go to anywhere you can go. It's just a different culture, and it's like stuff is like moving and life is just moving on, and it's just like it might not be what you think it is, or it has to be like how you think it's supposed to look like. It's like no, it's different cultures out there, different experiences, and it's amazing and beautiful, and it's different, but it still gets the job done.
Yeah, and I think even if you take away the baseball side to it, that what you just said is great for people who are afraid to get out of their shell.
Right.
Go out and try something new, go somewhere that you've never been before,
Yes.
go get the travel bug. Once you go one place, you want to go to 1,000 other places.
Yes.
And it's funny you say that because obviously we just watched last year the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
And all these countries are in it. There is baseball everywhere.
It's everywhere.
So not even if you don't play, even to watch in other countries, it's there for you to go somewhere new, experience something, and also do baseball.
Yeah, if you go to, you're a baseball fan and you want to experience a once in a lifetime type of baseball game, you gotta go to Korea. Like America, like you can see all the games that you want. Like, oh, I love it. But you go to Korea to watch it, you're gonna be like, oh, this is how a baseball game should be like watched when you're out there. Like,
well, not now with all the new rules we have. They want to speed the game up in South
Yeah.
Korea. They're like, yeah, we got all day.
Yeah.
We don't care. We're gonna
So,
take
like,
as much time as we
no,
need.
I'm telling you because it's a party. Like they're up dancing, and it's like no one's like they're up dancing. Everyone has like their own dance when they're like each hitter, and like everyone's dancing. Like I won't say everyone, but I want to say 98% of people
are into the game.
Like they're not on their phone. Like I see people like I interact with the fans, and like they're dancing. And I'm like, it's crazy. They're doing it the whole inning, the whole game, and I'm like, it helps me because like you're outfield, you're by yourself. You're like, you get stuff in your head, especially if you're not having a good game. You're like, oh.
And there's so many strikeouts, groundouts,
you're
not doing anything.
Yeah. But for me, it was like, I look at the fans, say something and do something. It just gets my mind off of like what I was doing, like, especially if I'm having a bad game, a good game,
Just
like
clear your head.
clear my head, like just be in the moment, be what's going on. Oh, okay, that's it. Then all right, lock in. Okay. All right, now time to lock in. And that's just how my mind works. Like I can't try to focus on something consistently. It's like kind of like have soft focus, then focus, soft focus. And it's just, that's just what
It works for you, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, man, it's amazing. Definitely if you wanna go to a game, go to a game in South Korea.
Well, hey, maybe somebody who watches this might get the courage to go do that.
Please, and if you wanna come watch me, let me know, man. I'll show you a good time.
Awesome. Well, Ronnie, thank you so much for your time. Like I said, there was no better way for me to start season 4 than with you.
Always a pleasure.
And we can't wait to follow your career. Hopefully, we'll get to talk to you again next year and you have even bigger, better things to tell us.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Ronnie.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. 안녕하세요.